Welcome to the Nerd Dome Podcast, episode 12. This is our first podcast of 2015. It's been a while. It's been hectic. Lots of shit going on. But we've got a different venue and a different group, kind of. Yeah, for
I'll let
this
anyone
podcast.
cares about us here.
So I'm Luke, here with
Charles.
and our special guest podcaster, my little brother.
Hey, I'm Blair.
So yeah, it's kind of been a crazy since Christmas. Lots of announcements have come out, lots of speculations, and yeah, but we're gonna kind of this one. Our I guess our topic is gonna be like favorite story arcs or trades that we've read, and we're gonna kind of tell them to you guys, and maybe that might get you hooked into reading or getting caught up, going back on the characters or the books that we're talking about. How was your break?
Yeah. My break?
Your break between podcasts?
Oh, Jesus, dude. I'm the reason that we have such a long break. So in other words, busy. Running a store in the winter. And
Which we're in,
mall.
by the way.
Yeah,
We're
inside the
in
nerd store.
In the back.
Nerd store. This is what my back room looks like. It's fucking terrible. Anyway, yeah, no, it's been crazy.
It's funny. It's actually good because I think the last podcast we did was right at the mid-season break of all of the TV shows.
It was, yeah.
And now we're back right after they came back. So it's actually
We just took a mid-season break, guys. That's all.
We can talk about that a little, I guess. Go ahead and introduce yourself more. Tell everyone some of your favorite comics characters and why you like them. Catch everyone up.
Okay, well, I'm Blair, and, Luke's little brother. Luke's little brother kind of thing. Pretty sure Captain America is the best comic book hero. Can we agree on that?
Nope.
Is that?
No, we cannot. Pretty sure.
See, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure you're wrong. I mean, you can try that, but
See, I have a tendency to like the really bad characters.
But Captain America, you said this before.
But
Captain
see-
America is not a bad character.
See, it starts with Captain America. Then after Captain America, you're just like, I
Yeah.
love Beta Ray Bill.
See,
Beta Ray Bill is one
That's
of my
legit.
favorites.
Like if you came out and been like, my favorite X-Men of all time is Boom Boom. It's a character. Boom Boom's a character. but that would just be horrible.
Hey, are we forgetting about Dazzler here?
No.
Jubilee.
No, Ryan would never let us forget
Oh,
about
we will
that.
never forget about Dazzler.
Never. Go ahead, continue.
Well, that's my Marvel side. I tend to read a little bit of everything, but nothing too much of anything. So I can hang in with everybody for a little bit, and then when they delve too deep, I'm just like, all right, okay, I'll listen.
I tend to just read too much of everything, or
It
attempt.
all get washed away.
I attempt to just. I attempt to read too much of everything. It's not really a thing. I attempt to read so much that I wind up reading nothing.
We in one of our podcasts, Ryan was, because I read a lot of everything. I have some main titles that I read, but I also do a lot of catching up on reading other people's reviews and talking to other people.
You do a lot of superhero.
Yeah.
You do
But
much
I
in
also,
the indies.
yeah. Well,
Have you read
Invincible.
Bitch Planet yet?
No, I haven't.
You're
I
a
haven't picked
huge
it up
Kelly
yet.
Sue fan.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Disappointed in you.
Sorry, Kelly. Because she watches.
She totally does. Everyone watches.
She's like, wait a minute.
She's one of our 16.
Yeah, Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka's also on there. We're sorry you can't make it here because I would.
I miss you, Greg.
I
I just wanted to beat you.
wanted to creepily touch your face over the table. Hi. And then just fade away. He would never forget you. Hey, you remember that one time?
Remember
The
that
con,
dude
that
just, like,
dude who
wiped
just
your
leaned over the
face?
table and was like, hi. He just faded into the crowd. Yeah. That was yeah, you also like we can kind of go into this a little bit. He likes Doctor Strange, but he's in the same boat as me where he hates Benedict Cumberbatch.
I
So-
hate him so much. He
So
looks
he's
like
torn.
Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie. One without the neck.
Oh my god.
That is who I see when I
He's
see
so
him.
nice. You want Ed to, Ed is now playing Doctor Strange.
Exactly. There's nothing I
I've never
like
made
about
that
him.
connection before.
I don't mind the guy. Really don't.
See,
I don't really.
It's fangirls.
my whole beef with it
That's true.
Fucking fangirls.
is there's so many other actors out there that you could have chosen from, but you choose the one guy. It's like, oh, hey,
You know what? Out of
this,
all the
these
people-
girls, this guy drops panties. Why not?
Why not? You know,
Right, there's that, but at the same time, I mean, from what I've seen him in, and granted, my exposure to him has been fairly limited, but from what I've seen him, he's actually not a bad actor.
He's
and
not.
the dude
See,
looks like he can probably play the role.
See, that's the thing for me. It's not that he's a bad actor. It's that he's an overhyped actor. Like, you think this guy is freaking Laurence Olivier or something by the way people talk about him. And it's like, he's not that good. And then once, like, you get to that point and then you have fangirls breathing down your neck telling you about how he's the most sexy, awesome actor of all time. And you're like, but he's not. He's really not.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that.
And it's just like,
Hate the fangirls. Don't hate him for the fangirls.
It's hard.
He didn't create the fangirls.
no, it's true.
It's not because of him. He's not like, hey, fangirl over me.
It's true. It's true. But honestly, when they were doing the casting, when they said Joaquin Phoenix was up for it, I was like, that guy is actually crazy. So it would actually be awesome. It would be so awesome because he wouldn't be acting.
He's too busy
He'd
with his
just be
music
him.
career.
He'd just be him. And that's really what I was excited about. But then they said Ewan McGregor, and I fanboyed over Ewan McGregor because, you know, Star Wars. And
Right.
So I was like, oh, that'd be awesome. And he would have done a great job because he does good and everything. See, I think him and Benedict Cumberbatch are on the same level of acting, but Ewan McGregor doesn't have the fangirl following. He's got the nerd guy following
Well,
that
see,
are sitting in the back of comic shops.
I think the
talking about
biggest
how great he
difference is Junit. He can sing, dance, and act. So I think
True.
he's got that.
Because I really want my Doctor Strange to start singing and dancing.
You know,
doesn't
who
like
wouldn't
Doctor
want that?
Strange?
I want Doctor Strange to be a musical. Just break out in a song and dance Disney
like-
style, like tap and
Jazz hands. Worth it.
I would not be upset.
Worth it.
That's all
Just
I'm saying.
fucking middle of battle, we're just gonna start breaking it. I mean, we did it in Guardians. Why not do it in Doctor Strange?
Exactly.
Take it up one step. I think that's what Marvel's doing anymore. Is they're like,
Why not?
what's the weird thing we
Dance
can
battle.
put into our movies and people still love? Let's try dance battle. Hey, that worked. Now we're gonna add a song and dance number to one because we can.
Oh, also while we were gone, we got the announcement that I geek out about that Daredevil Netflix is going to be
Oh.
released April 10th. I'm taking that day off of work. I am waiting till the second it hit Netflix, like if it's at midnight or 9 a.m., doesn't matter. That'll determine whether I sleep or not. Doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it. The second that Netflix refreshes and Daredevil's there, play. I'm going to pause between episodes, use the bathroom, eat, human shit. But then I'm just going to so I can be the
I
first
just would assume
person.
that you'd have like a bag
Just a
next to you of just
colostomy
random
bag.
goodies and a colostomy
Okay,
bag.
let's be real. Cheetos and
Right,
Mountain.
that's all you need. You just need to have like a giant pile of Cheetos.
But then I would have I'd have the issue, poofy Cheetos, crunchy Cheetos, or do
You
I
get
just
them
put them
all.
all mixed together?
You get like
With
a
the cheesy
mixed vat.
with the
with the
cheesy,
cheesy
poofs. Just empty that out the day before, fill it up with
just create your own
Cheetos.
giant bag of just
Yeah.
Cheetos, and then it's
Exactly.
fill it up, put a mini fridge next to the couch.
Mhm.
You don't have to move for a full day.
Yep. My wife will be taking my daughter to daycare. She'll be like, "Bye, bye."
And you'll gain about 10 pounds.
It'll be, but it'll be pounds of love. Pounds of love.
What if it's terrible?
It's not.
But what if?
It's not going to
We're
be.
gonna do-
Let
we're
me.
gonna-
So
let me
where's
explain
this?
We're gonna do
where's
fanboy
this?
style here. Like at the very end of it, what if it sucks?
See, I'm at the point where it may suck, but I will love it till the end of time.
Like the
Even
Fight
if it
Club video
sucks.
game?
Yes, like the Fight Club video game. It is a horrible video game, but I got 12 glorious hours of continuously beating the shit out of Fred Durst with Abraham Lincoln.
What?
Yeah,
I do not know this video game.
it is one of the worst video games of all time.
That does
need
not
it-
sound bad at all. That sounds
No,
brilliant.
It is very, very bad. But all you need to do is find someone that owns this. I don't even know where mine went. Do that. Beat up Fred Durst with Abraham Lincoln, and then burn the video game, and you will have the perfect amount of time playing Fight Club. I spent way too long playing that damn game. Mostly because I love the book and I love the movie.
They're making a comic now.
I hope it's good.
Should be. The dude that created the book wanted to continue the storyline, so he just decided that the next way he's going to continue it is through.
I thought he was writing a sequel book too, like a novel.
No, he nixed that. It's become the comic book.
Oh, okay.
So, yay for business for me.
Okay. Arrow came back. Arrow left and came back, like they've been known to do. Tell me your thoughts while I look up another article for us to talk about.
See, I feel like everyone gives Laurel too much hate.
She's terrible. There's no such thing as too much hate for her.
No, see, I don't have this contempt for her. She's not a bad character necessarily.
She's getting slightly better.
Exactly.
But only
here to here, and now she's here. She's got to work.
I don't think she was. Well, I mean, here if everyone else in the show.
Yeah. Like it's relative to everybody else. But I'm saying is that I'm not upset with how it's playing out. Like I am happy with how everything is going.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're gonna kill Oliver Queen and then we're gonna bring him back to life without even the good Lazarus Pit.
Without even the good parts.
Well,
you had the option, you had the opportunity to put that in, and you choose not to use it.
Well, in the same sense that they could have had Talia in there, but they didn't.
Right. Well, I don't need Talia. You're gonna put Roz in there, and you want to create something different. That's totally fine. But no one has done the Lazarus Pit film, and you had the opportunity to say that Roz kicked him off into the Lazarus Pit.
But grounded, gritty in reality.
Right. So instead, we're just going to have him die and then have the Asian guy that was, his friend back in the day who he hasn't seen or heard from at all. And now all of a sudden knows exactly where he's at and is going to take him to his apparently estranged wife to bring him back to life.
Okay, it is.
Because, grounded in reality.
Well, I feel like it could be like they didn't want to take the time to make a Lazarus Pit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we couldn't get green dye in a pool.
But they got to make it all bubbly and misty and whatnot.
Walmart was closed.
We were gonna get one.
Couldn't
of those,
get the fog machine.
We were gonna get one of those blue ones.
We ran out of fog juice. We didn't know what to do.
Dry ice burnt me. I threw it away. No more fog for us.
In that episode, the whole stuff between everyone else while Ollie's gone was good. I enjoyed that. I liked, kind of Felicity freaking out and blowing up on Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And I liked where they're taking it, and they're creating the atom, and we get to see the atom be created. But the ending of that, when he just kind of randomly shows up for the first time in who knows how long, and takes him to an apparently estranged wife, because I know you don't want to see me, but I'm here to bring it back to life. I feel
I'm hoping there's going to be more to it. They're going to elaborate a little more, because
I'm sure they will, and they'll tell us how they brought him back to life.
Because what I'm thinking is, from what I've saw, is right before he left to go on the fight, he took that little pouch full of magic herbs that cure everything, right?
Right.
What if that's the reason he's not dead?
See, that's what I think. Like when he left, they showed him grab a little bag off his table, and I was like, duh. And then they showed his buddy in the mid-season finale, and I was like, I see what's happening. I was really hoping that I was wrong, but it was not to be. I was absolutely right. See, and on the other hand, though, that one was kind of a disappointment out of the, returns, but
Flash was
Flash. Awesome.
I cannot stand Valerie. I hate all of them. Every single one.
The characters or the actors?
No,
both.
He doesn't like the characters because they're not Batman, DC.
Okay, let's be real here. No one else has Rainbow Man as a bad guy. I'm colorblind, so I need to steal your colors.
Listen,
come on.
Everybody went through that bad stage.
We understand that the Flash's Rogues Gallery is not great. However, the way they are still portraying them
with Prison Break,
yeah, basically
Prison Break rogues.
And actually, so I was watching Arrow, and and when the bad guy for this last episode of Arrow came on, I had watched Flash the day before, and I was like,
Wait a minute.
is that? No, it's not. Okay, it's not.
Oh, no,
But
no. You
for
mean,
a moment
you mean
there,
Gotham?
no,
The bald
no,
guy?
no.
With the
I
eyebrows?
mean, I was watching Arrow, and the bad guy in Arrow, I thought was
you thought
fired
was. Oh, okay.
for a second,
Okay.
and I was like, wait a minute, is that? No, it's not. Okay.
I was gonna
But for a
say,
second, I
'cause-
thought it was like, is this a random crossover and this dude doesn't have his burns yet? What the
because
hell happened?
in Gotham and in Flash, like literally the same week they premiered, they had that same bald guy with no eyebrows. He was the whirlwind. Was it the whirlwind guy or the guy that could turn into smoke? The bald dude, the really creepy dude.
yeah.
He's also like Falcone's enforcer in Gotham, and they premiered like right after each other. And I was like, wait a minute, that dude was just really? You couldn't find anyone else?
Does he have
Well, just like in
He's
the
got a
powers?
specific
in the
look.
first season of Arrow, there's like 12 guys from Supernatural in it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
all
that
the
and
random
the doctor
henchmen.
from Firefly, and Jesus from True Blood. But yeah, like I like that. And do you do the Gotham? Do you watch that?
I watched the Gotham, and I'm getting back into it after the
The Gotham.
Yeah, the Gotham.
Gotham.
And speaking of Firefly, Anara from Firefly was in the mid-season return of that, and that actually got like, I watch it to see the Riddler. Like that's really what I watch it for.
Really?
And his
Like-
last one,
It's Penguin.
the last one was really awesome. When he gave the cupcake with the bullet in it, she's like, "You weirdo!" And then like when the guy's telling her to piss off, that look he gets in his face, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
come
no.
on.
The evolution of the Riddler is awesome. But the real reason I'm watching is Penguin, and as you know, and as the
Paying
podcast
off,
knows,
yeah.
I was falling out of it.
Mm.
I was getting sick of the prequelitis where Gordon's getting to be in the one put in danger all the time, and Gordon's just being a puss and not actually. He keeps getting himself put in danger, and we're like, look, we know he lives.
We get it.
So
Just make him a badass
He's in
already.
peril, but we know he's going to get out of it, so you don't really feel for the guy.
Yeah.
And after the season break, they're not putting him in peril anymore. He's not ever really, I'm not really like, this dude's life's threat. Now it's like truly a badass, and
Mhm.
he's becoming a badass and extorting the police commissioner like that was cool.
See, I'm liking the way Harv is going. Bullock, his partner.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like, both of you in here. He's like, it's not me. It's not. When he was like, this time I won't be careful. He's like, oh, before was you being careful. No, but before was you. Being careful.
I'm gonna be
4 or 5
honest.
times. It's awesome.
I refuse to watch Gotham. I cannot watch it.
Why?
Because it's like, all right, we're gonna have Batman for you, but we take Batman out and put in Commissioner Gordon. We got ourselves a huge TV show here, guys.
See what I was able to do with it, because that's what I was thinking at first too. I was like, it's Smallville. It's Smallville. But I just went and was like, you know what? Push everything else aside. I'm just gonna watch it for what it is, and for what it is, it's very good.
Well, and
I enjoy it.
My big problem with the first half of the season was way too much young Bruce. Young Bruce was terrible.
Which I'm glad that the second half of this first
We haven't even
season.
seen him yet.
Nope, not even Alfred.
No. Well, I'm so
is
happy
great.
because the cops were going to young Bruce for help. The cops were going to Bruce Wayne, a 12-year-old who just watched his parents get shot, going, I don't know how to catch this guy. Will you help me?
It's like
Really?
he needs to do that when he's older.
Right. Yeah. Really? You're going to set that
I
up
am
now?
excited.
No, that's ridiculous.
they
but they've
did
gotten away
announce-
from that in the second half of the season.
Yeah, they did announce the first costume villain that's going to show up.
Oh?
Red Hood.
Really?
The bow tie, bullet, cape, Red Hood, like the only costume villain before Batman. So I'm like, awesome,
All right.
awesome.
That's
I'm
cool.
down on that.
And so my other big problem with it was, ages. They're screwing with people's ages. Harvey Dent was supposed to go to school with Bruce.
I thought that was Tommy.
Hush did. Harvey, I don't know if they went to school, but I know that they're supposed to be the same age. Roughly the same age, not Commissioner Gordon. And now Dent is the same age as Gordon.
That bothers me.
Yeah,
And he's
a little
already
bit.
working in the DA's
See, I
office.
think they can.
So
Fudge a
what?
little
He's
bit with
he's
that.
gonna be an old man when Batman is
Right, once Batman,
Like,
because Batman, we're going to have Dent as being an old man because he's going to be the same age as Gordon.
Yeah, he'll just be George.
And he's
Clooney.
already right now, when Bruce Wayne's like 12, I think is what his age is in this.
Oh my God.
10 or 12, something like that. He's already in the DA's office.
that's
So that I was like, I mean, it's cool you brought Ben in, but That's how you bring him in. Now, Tommy, that was cool.
Yeah, I was
Tommy
like,
Elliott,
do you know who
that
that
was
is?
cool. That was really cool.
And was you were talking about how much you like we don't like Laurel and you like her. I think that
It's not that I like her. It's this my hate for her isn't as great as your hate.
Okay,
So it's
So
a
then that's
lesser
your hate.
hate.
so the hatred is still there, just not as big.
Yeah, exactly.
See, for me, it's like you go and you see how they're writing Laurel as a female like main character, and then you go look and see how they're doing Peggy Carter and Agent Carter, and you're like, they are doing it so right.
Well, if you think
And
about
these
it,
guys are like, well, we're gonna try.
well, if you think about it, her mental like I'm going into the character here. Her mental state is completely different from Peggy Carter. Like her whole thing
it's
is
completely
like
true. However, they're writing her as the damsel in distress. They can't get away from writing women as the damsels in distress.
Except in Agent Carter.
The DC universe can't. The DC universe, they write their women as damsels in distresses. They
Lois
can't.
Lane
They don't know
syndrome.
how to write strong, powerful lead characters.
Power Girl.
No, just because it's in her name doesn't mean that's her character.
Well, and I'm going to specifically stick with the TV show specifically, but they can't. I mean, Sarah was the closest we had, really,
Yeah, and she
Well,
got good there at the end.
and she got
No.
good. But even still, she was still had a you have to save me. Somebody has to save me. Every girl in their universe, somebody has
What
to
about,
save them. One of the guys have to save them.
Oh, I don't even remember her name. The girl that's replacing Talia.
She's good.
She's a very
But
strong.
She's only in like 3 episodes and
Right.
3 seasons.
We don't get any backstory on her. So we've gotten her for 3 episodes and 3 seasons, which means, yeah, she's good for what we know because they can only write her in that. But anytime you have to expand a character beyond the initial introduction of them, DC can't do it. The writers they hire just can't get female characters right. You can still write a character. Really, Laurel's character, if you're diving into the character, she should be a badass right now. With what she's gone
Well,
through,
I feel like it's gonna progress into that. I feel
they're
like we're-
trying. They're not. In my opinion, I don't think they have the talented writers
And
to
it's,
view women in that way.
you know, and it's like every time they start to, then they just stop and don't pay attention to her anymore.
Right.
And then a couple episodes go by, and then she starts to make a little more progress, and
So-
they cut it up, and it's like,
just putting this out there. So we're bashing on the writers for Laurel, right? So and Jeff Johns does writing for Arrow. So
he is
in
an
a roundabout
executive
way,
producer. He's an executive
Oh.
producer. He doesn't write.
okay.
So
Yeah, and well,
he's like the creative consultant.
Well,
He's
so
also-
everything goes through him.
I will
right?
but I will also say that I'm not as big on Jeff Johns as everyone else in the world is. I pretty much what I've known of him and what I've read most recently of his was his run on Aquaman. The first trade, it was good for the first half,
Green Lantern.
and then
is his
they
best work,
and then
honestly.
he screwed it up. So yeah, he's got troubles. And again, I still don't think in Aquaman he couldn't write Mara right.
Yeah.
I still don't think that he can write women right.
That's
It's
it.
not many people can. I mean, it's not Whedon. Whedon can.
Yeah, Whedon's like the king
Right.
doing that.
Rucka can.
Mm-hmm. Kelly Sue.
Kelly Sue can. But as far as male writers go, there's not many that can write women right, that get them across right. Again, Laurel should be a badass, but my problem is that they're developing her into being a badass. Well, they're trying to develop her into being a badass through the writing as well as her acting ability isn't there. So the actress herself, I don't think can portray badassness.
Stephen Amell's not that great of an actor either.
Not really.
But
He doesn't. You don't have the same level. You're trying to make an in-depth character with Laurel.
Yeah, if you're trying to pull people in, you need the talent to be able to pull people in.
You're
know,
trying to make
honestly,
this character that's got depth to her. She's someone who's gone through a lot. She's someone who's gone through some struggle. She had a downside in her life, and her sister died. And what she's going to do now is she's going to take over the role that her sister took over, and she's going to become the badass. You have to have a better actor in that role to be able to portray all of that backstory when being the badass.
See, I think that is why I like the Flash more than I like Arrow. I think the acting, especially with like Joe in Flash, the cop, he is awesome.
He's
like
great. I love that
the
Joe
like
is the
my
best.
favorite parts of the Flash are when it's Barry and Joe playing buddy buddy
And Cisco.
I love it. Yeah, it's Cisco.
And Cisco just joking around.
But it's
every
like
time
they
he's
have
Heat
to better
wave. Shut up.
stop doing that. He's like, we have to catch cold, and before you say it, yes, I realized I said that. But the I think the best on the show have got to be like Brandon Routh coming in.
Oh, he's awesome.
And Brandon Routh and Diggle. Diggle, I think, is one of my favorite. Like he's they could do so much more.
I
with
also
him, but they
love
don't.
Felicity Smoke.
Yeah, like every
Felicity's
guy.
character.
Every
Like every
fan.
guy. Right. But again, she's still another one that her character is shallow. We don't know much about her backstory from a writing standpoint. She's other female who her character is very
Someone
shallow.
was like, someone I saw on Facebook, and he's like, what if Diggle was like a code last name and it's actually John Diggle Stewart? I'm like, I would be on board for that. John Stewart,
Oh,
that
that
would
would
be
be
on
so
board
cool.
for that. He would
Oh
be the
my
best
God,
John
that'd be
Stewart.
amazing.
He would be the best John Stewart
Oh.
ever. And it was funny, before I said that, I was like, man, if he wasn't an Arrow, I would want that guy to play.
Dude,
John
how awesome
Stewart.
would it be if we got a Green Lantern TV series that Diggle becomes John Stewart, Green Lantern, and
Okay.
and we get the crossover, and it starts off in Arrow where the Ring finds him.
And then you would
in
you
Arrow,
would
and
already
now he
have
takes
the
off.
friendship between
already
Green
have-
Arrow, Green Lantern, and the Flash.
Right, they've already got
already be
that
there.
friendship. Oh my God, that would be brutal. That would
See?
be
But
brilliant.
it's not going to happen because
Right,
they'll find a way. They'll be like, oh, this is perfect. We could just and then fuck it up,
right.
and they will find a way to
Because if
fuck
we do
it
get a
up.
Green Lantern, we'll get a Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have this
And
opportunity
there
to
is
put in John Stewart, but
absolutely
we won't get
nothing
it.
wrong.
There is
We'll get it.
absolutely everything wrong with Hal Jordan Green Lantern. He is the worst Lantern ever.
Not talking character-wise. You guys can debate this because I haven't read any. But my big problem there would be the chips and trusts and all that when you have Hal Jordan in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start and end this argument with him real quick. This is the guy that says Terry is a better Batman than Bruce Wayne. So grounds unfounded,
Oh.
argument thrown off the table.
no!
Okay.
We're gonna
See,
move on from
here's
this.
okay. Here's my explanation for this: is that you grew up with the animated series Tim Burton Batman. Is that right? Like,
Somewhat.
all right. I grew up on Batman Beyond. That's what I got.
So did I.
But that was my whole thing, and I
I'm
thought,
sitting at 24 years old. I came in when I really started paying attention to it was the tail end of the animated series and beyond.
and see,
I got a little bit of both of them.
see, and here's the thing: is you guys are judging Terry off of, because I don't know if you guys read the Batman Beyond universe, is because he's evolving, because he's literally a clone of Bruce Wayne.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He
till
is a
recently.
clone
I
of
knew that
Bruce
now,
I
Wayne.
didn't even know that.
It was recent.
So
Right now.
essentially, they are the
You
same
never told
person.
me. He's my Batman. Like,
He's your Batman.
So essentially, it's the same person. So it's,
Okay.
Yeah, well, so don't get me wrong. I love Terry. And I do love Batman Beyond. I think the whole universe there is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's the better Batman. Terry was, especially when Terry's first introduction, he was whiny and bitchy and just complaining.
because he's a 16-year-old kid.
Right.
I mean-
he's not as nearly as dedicated as Bruce Wayne was. He's not. He doesn't have the training that Bruce Wayne did. He doesn't have the backstory that Bruce Wayne did. Bruce Wayne is the better Batman. From a
Okay,
character standpoint
okay.
and a
We've had
physical
this.
standpoint.
We've had this argument multiple times.
All
We're
right.
going to move on. Image just had the Image Expo and announced some books coming out. Just gonna go through some of the highlights for me personally. AD After Death, written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Jeff Lemire.
Oh, shit.
And it says AD After Death will be set in the near future where death has been cured and one man must come to grips with what comes next. No one's dying. Black Road
See, those
by hold on, let me go through this first. Black Road by Brian Wood, and it's like a Viking story. I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young,
I'm
and it is. So I'd like to introduce you to Gertrude, a snarky, slightly deranged 40-year-old with a battle axe who happens to be trapped in a Shirley Temple-esque body and confined to a Technicolor fun. It's an all-new series full of morbid, dark humor and snark. Perfect for fans of Invader Zim and Fight Club.
oh my god.
How
That
opposite-
description.
how
I
opposite
think I
of-
may. I have to check it out.
I think it's Keptara. Image Comics is proud to announce that they're continuing to publish comics in 2015. One of them is Keptara, a new
I'm proud they're
ongoing
publishing them
series.
still too.
A new ongoing series from very interesting person, Chip Zdarsky,
Oh god.
Oh god.
and award-winning illustrator Kagan McLeod. It says Keptara follows Keith Kanga, a young bioengineer flung across the universe into a strange planet filled with weird danger. And if he doesn't get home to Earth, it says the place you live is doomed. With like 4 O's.
So Zdarsky's also now writing Howard the Duck,
Yep.
and he went from being an artist to writer on Howard the Duck now.
I'm gonna be honest. I have never seen the appeal for Howard the Duck. Never once. I've never been like, man, I gotta pick up this Howard the Duck. I've never been like, man, I want to watch that creepy movie with that creepy duck in it.
I don't think anyone really has that appeal. I think Marvel just kind of forces it down your throat. And they just like, hey, there's this Howard the Duck guy. Let's try him. I think the only reason he's coming back is because of Guardians. Because he was put at the end of
That, and I
Guardians.
think I feel like they need to replace some smart-assness with Deadpool going away.
They attempted that with. I think that's what Squirrel Girl's attempting to do, and I don't like Squirrel Girl. I did not.
I like Squirrel Girl.
I mean,
I
No,
enjoy
like
Squirrel
this.
Girl.
I did not like this book. I'm gonna pick
I
up
haven't
one or
picked
two
it up
more
yet.
issues, but my problem with it was humor for the sake of humor.
Hmm.
It was just we're gonna be funny just to be funny,
But isn't that how Deadpool is?
which is also my problem with Deadpool.
We've got.
So, I kind of got sick of Deadpool.
Like I do agree that he's kind of oversaturated and he's kind of in everything. But is he going away completely? Is that the plan?
He's dying theoretically, from what I understand.
Comics
the book's supposed to.
Comics dying.
Right. Here's the thing. If I remember right, Deadpool drops the first Wednesday of the month. What's the first Wednesday in April?
Yeah,
It's the first.
I see. What you're doing.
So I kind of am hoping that
It all becomes
I'm okay with him dying. I'm really very much okay with Deadpool dying. I'm also at the same time very much
Listen.
hoping that it's a 3-month-long April Fool's joke that Marvel played.
And
on the
even
world.
if they do in May, it doesn't matter.
right,
With the Secret Wars.
right,
Which is what we'll talk about after this. But the phonogram, I don't know if it's one that they announced before, but it's Karen Gillan and Jamie McKelvey. And it's just a continuation of what they've done. Pretty Deadly is going to be,
come back.
yes. And
Oh, thank God.
Ongoing, Pretty Deadly, and it's set in World War I is this next one.
Oh, dude, I
Um,
just read the Pretty Deadly trade.
Revengeance.
So good. Is Kelly
By-
Sue still writing that?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Revengeance by Darwin Cook, which is, Darwin Cook's awesome.
I'm not a big fan.
Savior by Todd McFarlane.
He just needs to stop.
The individual possesses certain powers, abilities that harken from the Old Testament. Could he possibly be this corrupted world's savior in the flesh, or will he be the world's undoing? Tell me what that kind of sounds like. To me, it kind of sounds like Spawn, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So I
Dude
just,
only knows one thing. He's good at his one thing, but he needs to just stick to his one damn thing.
And they
So
also
is
announced
it-
Spawn.
so
250th issue.
I kind of feel like it's his fault that comics kind of went downhill in the 90s. Is that fair to say?
No, it's Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld. I'm in.
I'm going to give it
Gene's
all on Rob Liefeld's shoulders. I have a Captain America #1 from Rob Liefeld out there that you can take a look at after this. Have you seen the cover for that thing? The dude doesn't have ankles. Have you seen Rob Liefeld's Captain America? Oh my God, he's got muscles on muscles on muscles on muscles
in pouches.
and pouches,
Cable.
pouches everywhere.
Cable. Just think of like the '90s X-Men with Cable. That's Rob Liefeld.
Oh my
Skinny
The original
arms,
Deadpool.
skinny wrists.
Okay.
Deadpool, the original Deadpool, with
Pouches
pouches everywhere. That's Rob Liefeld.
All right.
Captain America. The dude. So what he did, is he would draw his characters purposely standing behind boulders and other random bushes and some things like that he could draw, so he wouldn't have to draw feet. And on the cover of Captain America #1, you have this big, muscly, ripped 90s style,
He is the 90s.
he is the 90s style. Big, muscly, ripped 90s guy with these feet that are just like triangles. Rounded tipped triangles
Oh my
coming, and there's
God.
no ankle. It's like he's flying at you and it comes down like this, and then there's triangle feet right there.
with they were the ones who created Image.
Let's
They were
just
the
make
six, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld.
Here's the thing,
And that's
McFarlane-
cool. That's cool. But
McFarlane did what he did. I'm not going to say that it was on his shoulders because what he does well.
Yeah.
Spawn, he does it well. His Spider-Man wasn't
the art was amazing.
right.
The story.
See, but is that not
Par. They
McFarlane's
weren't
whole thing? Is
subpar.
that the art was phenomenal, but the stories were just
Well, and it's not
Yeah.
even all of his art. Like, I would not want him on a Captain Marvel.
No, he draws specific characters. Like that's kind of my
He,
thing with
he draws the same style. Everything he does, you can tell. You look at that's McFarlane.
See,
Jim Lee can draw anything. What would you not put Jim Lee on? Oh, you don't like Jim Lee, do you?
we won't get into this because that's a whole
God
other
damn
thing.
it.
We've done it before.
I know.
I
forgot about that.
See, I think, like, honest, I love Greg Capullo. I love his art. It's specific. Like,
Again,
he's
yeah.
very good at. He did Spawn. Now he's doing Batman.
It looks
I
great in
love
Batman.
it. In the
It's-
dark, gritty kind of stuff.
He is
But-
great for Batman. He is basically
Say-
made to draw Batman.
Say, Greg Capullo, draw My Little Pony. How
Right.
horrible would that end? Like,
well, since
not
it's
that
My
the-
Little Pony, I don't
just saying,
think the
you know,
subject matter
Squirrel
is.
Girl.
Not,
Give him Squirrel Girl. Give him Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Give him
See,
Green
you could do
Lantern.
Ant-Man.
See,
dark and gritty.
my
you could
artist,
pull that off.
A little bit, but I don't know that you'd have to get the weird story going with him. But
my artist that I say covers like the wide range. I know you probably don't. Well, you don't read Daredevil, but Chris Samney. Chris Samney has a classic comic book look, so he can do anything. Like, I've seen him do Superman. I've seen the Batmans. I've seen Daredevil, Rocketeer, the Spirit. All of it looks great. All of it looks great. Another one that I'd say is very, very. It's not superhero comics. He's superhero comics. Alex Ross.
oh,
Alex Ross, beautiful, amazing,
everything.
But he has that look because he bases everything off real people, which is why I like it because they look like they're proportioned like real people.
Yeah,
They
not
all
like
have the
Rob
big-
Liefeld.
They all have the big square jaws, but so does John Hamm.
Right.
So
No, they
you see
look
people
good.
in real life that look like that.
Right, not like Rob Liefeld. You've never seen anyone in real life that looks like
No.
that.
Ryan, maybe he can link it in a comment on the page. But he had an article that was like the top 15 reasons why we hate Rob Liefeld, and put that on there. That'd be hilarious. So tell us about Battle Pug.
Oh, we're jumping into Battle Pug?
Yeah. Let's
Battle
get on
Pug.
that.
Battle Pug was good enough that it's apparently been going on for a while. I stumbled upon it one night while on the phone with a friend who was just Googling random shit, and she found Battle Pug. So it made me order it for it. And when I got it in, I was like, I have to read it. And it's good enough that I'm picking up the rest of it and I'm going to start carrying it in my store.
And who's the artist and writer on it?
Mike Norton. I think he's the artist and writer. They have a couple letters and colorists and stuff like that. But Mike Norton's this is his creation.
That font just screams heavy metal.
It does, yeah. So it really does have the beginning of it has a heavy metal feel, and the cover has a heavy metal feel, and things like that. And so you get in, and there's this girl, and for no reason at all, she's completely naked in some palace tower talking to two dogs
Because
she's laying in ways that you can't see. She's laying on her bed talking to two dogs. The dogs are talking back, and the dogs are wanting her to tell them a story. So you have a dog that's named Colfax, and another one named Mingo. Yeah, Colfax and Mingo are the two dogs' names, and they're a pug and I don't know what that is. I should know what that is. That's a French bulldog. French bulldog.
yeah.
Yeah, well, a French bulldog. So they're there, and she's like sitting there. They're like, "Oh well, what do you want to listen to, or what kind of story do you want to hear?" And one of them wants a story about puppies. One of them wants a story about flying giant devil monsters who spit fire and carry machetes made of fire.
Because why not?
And the other one wants puppies in it. So she makes up a story that has those things, and it's the tale of Battle Pug. And then the art changes like entirely.
It goes to dream storytelling.
She is very heavy metal look and very seductive and things. And then it goes to still great.
What the?
I'm still a big fan of the art,
Yes,
but it
that
goes
is
to kind of a
giant
dream
seal.
too. Yeah.
I forgot to put that disclaimer out before we started.
I don't really care. So, stories about a boy who's in some Eskimo-style village, and a giant seal attacks. And this thing is seriously giant. Like there's things flying next to him. There's people flying next to him that are bigger, aren't the size of his eyeball. To give you any sort of like scale, he's huge, and he destroys their entire town. Their entire village is destroyed.
Are they Eskimos?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so he then gets like, he's the only survivor of his people, and he sees this random dude riding a saber-toothed tiger.
Because why not?
Because exactly. And the dude who's riding the saber-toothed tiger walks away, and the kid is now convinced that the dude riding the saber-toothed tiger was in charge of the giant seal attacking because he saw him on a ledge.
I
knew it.
It's clear.
He has a nefarious look. He's got a weird look.
I
to his
like
face.
that last panel.
Revenge. so he goes on. He gets knocked way away by the giant seal. Literally knocks him off.
That might be my new fantasy football mascot, the seal.
The giant seal?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he's freaking awesome, isn't it? So he gets knocked off, and this is where, so in the middle of the story, some girl telling a story to two dogs. So in the middle of the story, they break it up, and they start, the dogs go, "Wait, what happened? He can't die yet," and start asking her questions, and she starts responding to them, and then they go back to the story. Well, it's all in, narrative writing, because it is a story being told. So you're reading narrative while just watching it play out. Anyway, this kid gets saved by elves, like Santa Claus and his elves. And he gets taken to Santa's workshop to work in Santa's workshop. And his elves are his slaves. He's literally a slave driver. So the kid grows up, and he starts they start fighting him for sport.
Like
Gladiator style. Santa's village has a freaking gladiator style arena
Of course it would.
that
Come on.
the elves are cheering on while they start fighting their slaves for sport. So this kid gets big and tough, and he grows up becomes a warrior. And one day that killed us all. And instantly the guy's like, "Oh, same one that killed my village." He knows that this giant seal killed him and killed his village. So he then goes to Santa and tells Santa that he will go and take care of this problem for him in exchange for his freedom. So he goes out and he battles the seal, and it talks about how the seal is older now, and so is the kid. like apparently that was a baby seal.
So it's like Fist of the North Star.
So the seal he was pure white, and now he's got some gray on him and some black on him, and he's an older looking seal. Same size, didn't grow. He's just
This is an older
a
seal.
giant seal who's just older. And so the dude battles him and beats him off with a giant candy cane. He literally kills the seal with a giant candy cane because, North Pole, that's what they
Now,
have.
see, if that's not the epitome of manliness, I don't know what is.
Right. This dude's a badass. He earns his freedom. And he goes kind of,
Is Santa gone after that? Does he never show up again?
not really, no. That's pretty much all we get of Santa in the first book. Maybe he shows up in the second one. I haven't read the second one yet. So he then goes down and he starts exploring the world. And he's still convinced to find the dude riding the saber-tooth tiger that he's convinced instructed to steal to kill his old town. And he runs into this dude who's called Scribbly Scrabbly. Because
okay, to describe this, do you guys remember what Jafar looked like in Aladdin when he was in the prison? That's what this guy looks
that's what this guy looks like. So he goes and he finds this swamp village. And there's this random dude coming out yelling Scribbly Scrabbly. And then he starts, and literally every single time he says Scribbly or Scrabbly during his sentence. Every time he talks. So he'll be just
I imagine
talking
he would
like
talk
normal
like an
and
old
it's Scrabbly.
Talk like an old prospect.
That's how I did it. That's how it was in my head. I read him completely as an old prospector because that's what he looks like. So this old crazy dude's the only survivor in this town who's a giant beast has come and killed his town too. So the warrior goes and he's going to save him. And so he goes to save him. And then this giant pug shows up. And it looks exactly like a pug. I'm assuming snorting. He's snorting. He's like can't breathe. His eyes are all not cross-eyed, but the opposite. They're going out.
Googly-eyed.
All googly-eyed. And the warrior goes to kill him. But right as the warrior's going to kill him, he throws his sword, misses, and the dog plays fetch. So it turns out that the dog was not the beast that killed his village. It was a giant frog wearing jewelry.
Now, is he going to offer them like a deal
Is
for
the
their
necklace
souls?
the candy necklace?
It kind of looks like it
a
is.
candy necklace.
It looks like a candy necklace. But it's this giant, it's the witch toad. And so she goes to eat him, and they start battling.
Level 17 witch toad.
Right. So the warrior and the witch toad start battling. Scribbly Scrabbly comes in, gets his ass kicked. And then
He just glazed over that. He just got his ass kicked.
he did. He comes in for like 2 panels, comes running in thinking he's going to be the savior, and just gets knocked away. And that, like, he gets picked up.
Old Scribbly.
He gets picked up, he goes to get eaten, and then the warrior beats the witch toad in the face with basically a tree trunk and knocks Scribbly out of the way. And the way the battle's done, witch toad beats the crap out of the warrior, goes to kill her, goes about to kill the warrior, and the dog shows back up with the sword in mouth and just runs the sword right through the chest of the witch toad. So the sword that he threw off that he went to play fetch with, he came back with it. And he stabbed the witch toad
200 experience
completely,
points.
completely by accident. And now the frog toes around with him, and he can't get him to go away, and he licks him, and now they're friends. So now the frogs shoot. There's a panel here of the frog, eating some witch toad. And take village.
Yeah, revenge.
Right. So on their way there, they decide to ride the dog for a brief moment, and that didn't work out. But they start going there, and they have these random dudes who are stuck and they can't go anywhere. And they come upon on these other random travelers who can't move anywhere. Just some dudes walking around with a chest. Not any wheels or anything like that. They say they can't go any further, and they ask him why. It turns out there's a mole population. Gophers, sorry. There's a massive gopher population in the field in front of them, and they can't go any further. If they take one step further from where they're currently standing, there's moles. There are gophers. The gophers start attacking, and they create a giant gopher.
They swarm together to make. I want to know what gophers the giant teeth are.
That's what I was wondering too, and the fingernails, the claws. But they swarm together, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger style, and they create this giant gopher that then starts attacking everybody. And, well, it kind of goes on. Everyone runs away. And now the warrior finds some random stones with markings from his
Stonehenge style.
Stonehenge style, kind of a circle with markings from his tribe. Now there's this big, I don't know
Ghost.
what would you call it? Ghost thing.
Spirit.
Ghost dog?
It's spirit of like a wolf bear.
I think
Oh,
that
wolf bear.
I think that is a giant spirit of a giant gopher.
Is that what that is?
I think that's what it is.
No, it's
No, because it talks to him about the Kimudian, which is
Yeah,
his
it looks
tribe.
like a gopher to me.
I'm
It might
going
be a
with
gopher.
wolf bear. I think that is a good description.
I think wolf bear. He looks
Not
like a wolf
even
bear.
a thing.
Well, neither is a giant spirit gopher. I mean,
Also true. He tells him some shit that went down, and that he needed to grow up to be this warrior and leader and all that. And so he kind of falls through. The Stonehenge then basically erupts, and the dog comes in and saves him. And he starts riding the dog out. Up to this point, he wouldn't ride the dog because he hated giant beasts because of the seal.
the giant seal.
This dude has a problem with beasts. He cannot get over things. That one seal, man, screwed him up for life. So he actually the Stonehenge winds up blowing up, and what happens is they basically blows up all of where the gophers were. There's now a crater where the gophers were. Keep in mind the whole time they're in a giant field. You don't see it's a giant clearing. There's no forest on either side of them. There's nothing like there's not like they can only go down this one path. And so they happen to run across these guys, and there happen to be gophers in the way. Well, now there's a crater that they're just gonna kind of walk around. Which
just
I feel
Around
like
the gophers.
I feel like the story is one D&D game. Like that's what this feels
That's what
like.
it feels like. So they go in, and now they get to this town, and the town, they won't let them in. Because the guys that they had stopped that had that chest, turns out they stole something from the town. So now they help them escape by destroying the town. And so they go, look, we know who did it. And so they kind of go back and they decide to go get the chest so they can get into the town. And so they stop the guys, and the warrior and the pug start fighting. Go battle pug, he eats a dude.
Every time Battle Pug runs, it's a snort, 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 like pugs do when they run.
Yeah, because they can't breathe. Basically, they fight, and
Oh my god.
I forgot about that battle. There's a battle here where, so the gangster and the outlaw, there's a big dude, big burly dude, and he decides that when Battle Pug comes after him, he's gonna run up and headbutt him. This is a battle of the Battle Pug and the big burly dude, just headbutting. Which is just awesome. And it breaks the guy's neck. Anyway, battle ends. Stuff happens. They get the chest back. Turns out there was a girl inside. And now you get back to the next place is there was somebody.
They're in a dungeon.
Yeah. Turns out there is a guy masterminding all of this. And we don't really know who it is. I think that's the same guy from... I didn't really go back. Yeah, that's the same guy.
On the Saber-Tooth
So
Tiger.
he's right. The guy on the Saber-Tooth Tiger is the same guy that's masterminding all of this. And he goes back, and they're like, oh, there's no sign of the outlaws. Oh, well, if they come back, kill them. Because that means they failed. So, and that's where that ends. And we find out there is a big mastermind on.
Um,
In back
do you
there.
know who publishes that?
I think it's Dark Horse. Yeah, it's Dark Horse.
Dark Horse. Battle Pug
So,
by Dark Horse.
Pick it up from Dark Horse. You can pick it up at any comic shop. It is in stock. It's one word for your guys that if you can't come to me, I can order it. Or if you got to go to another shop, it's one word so that they can look it up because I looked this up. It honestly took me a little while to find it on my ordering system because I didn't fully believe it existed.
Okay. So give us, I know you don't have anything in front of you to kind of jog your memory, but go ahead and just kind of explain why, explain what comic story is your favorite and then why. And we can go into a little bit of detail.
Okay. Well, My favorite story is Joss Whedon's run on X-Men.
Astonishing X-Men.
Astonishing X-Men. I feel that his writing style just expands on all the characters within the X-Men. Like, because there's some writers, when they write the X-Men, there's characters that are just kind of in the background, and you don't particularly care about them.
Because there's so many.
Because there's just so many. But Joss Whedon finds a way to involve every character and give them their little bit of time in the light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's one of my favorites too. Just mostly because of the conversation in the first volume when Cyclops is talking about, getting the team back together and fighting evil again, and Logan goes, "Oh, he's talking about spandex. You're talking about spandex, are you?" That really sums it up for me. That and
That's
Kitty Pryde
great.
being late for the announcement, and Emma Frost chiding her on it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was busy, putting on all my clothes." Little jabs between those two are hilarious that only Joss Whedon can do. My book that I was going to talk about is Frank Miller and John Romita's Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. I kind of felt that it was a good time too, because there's a lot of speculation that the Daredevil Netflix is going to be this story.
So I've got a quick question. Why does it feel like every writer who's ever done Daredevil, they're like, all right, here, do Daredevil. Oh, you did good on Daredevil. Now we're going to put you on something we care about. Like, is that not true?
Hey,
Like,
hey,
I mean, that is a little bit true, actually.
but did he do Daredevil before he did Dark Knight? Before he did Dark Knight? Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did.
It's true.
if
Shut
you
up.
look at most of the
Um,
popular
Baker, Rick Remender, Brian Michael Bendis, Mark Waid. But Mark Waid's done plenty before he got to there.
are you
that's true.
forgetting Kevin Smith?
Well, that's really, he did that and then he went and did the Green Hornet.
He wrote Spider-Man.
He didn't really do a big leap. He did a little bit of Batman too.
So this one. You got to be smart because that's my job. The dad takes it's the story everyone knows. Dad takes the job as the fixer and stuff like that. Matt saves the old man walking across the street, gets blinded, finds his super senses. One thing I really like about this is it's kind of the first, in the first one, they don't really show this, but like later on in this, they show a nun come and see him while he's blinded. It's before he's developing everything, but he says he feels calm and relaxed and something soothing about this lady coming to see him. It turns out that that's actually his mom that came to see him that left when he was a baby. So that's kind of why, but they explain it later, but this is where she first came in. And it really, the faith that he has and all that stuff is really embodied right there. But, him learning how to do all this stuff. And unlike the Daredevil movie, he doesn't just automatically teach himself how to do all this stuff. He has a mentor named Stick, an older guy who's blind and knows like Kung Fu and Jiu-Jitsu and all this stuff, and teaches him how to hone his skills and shoot arrows and just how to turn the city into his playground. His fast forward a little bit, his dad decides not to throw a fight, gets taken care of by the fixer. Matt's like probably high school, maybe early into high school, junior high. He decides that he is going to take care of these guys using his new skills. So he rolls into the gym and he cuts the lights and just beats the shit out of everyone with a baseball bat and a ski mask. Like, he just goes nuts on these guys, breaking kneecaps. Like,
Oh, that shit's
he
awesome.
doesn't care. And then, he runs. One guy gets away, so he chases after him. And he didn't kill any of the other guys. He finally catches up with the guy that actually pulled the trigger. and he's about to beat the hell out of him when the guy has a heart attack and dies. Didn't lay a finger on him. That really affects him. But then but he's still kind of on this high, and he goes to this house where there's this whorehouse. There's all these hookers everywhere to find this last guy, and he goes in there thinking, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna go on and beat the hell out of this guy." He goes in, and then all of the hookers start attacking him. And he's like trying not to hurt him. He's like, stop it. And he accidentally kicks one of them out the window.
Is there any particular reason that hookers all start attacking him?
No.
He just kind of walks in as like a 16-year-old kid, right? And he's just
he's
"Hey, what's up?
after,
I'm a high school kid, and you hate me."
Yeah,
okay.
he's going after a guy that got in there, like the driver of the car, because he wants to take care of every single person that he's got his list.
Right.
And they go in there, and then assume this guy's like a well-paying customer, and they want to protect their investments, so that's where they attack him. But he knocks a chick out the window and kills her, and he kind of goes into freak out mode where he's like, nope, never again, not gonna. Has a nervous breakdown. He vows that he's not gonna do that anymore. And then kind of like fast forward, I guess he was a senior, because now like it says a year later, and he's at Columbia University, so he's probably about 18.
Okay.
So he's at Columbia. He meets Foggy Nelson, his partner, who's been getting beat up. And this guy, this one guy has been picking on him. And Matt hasn't done anything. They've become friends. And he hasn't, gone out and done the daredevil thing. But that night he decides he's going to go out and take care of the bully that made fun of Foggy, leave him like naked. Kind of jump around, hops in his little black tracksuit, black hoodie, which is what, if you've seen the still from Daredevil where he's wearing like the black with just the black mask on. That's what this is.
Right.
He's just out, so he's not seen. And as he's going out there, he catches the scent of a lady, and he kind of chases her through.
What do you smell?
Chases her through the city, gets to Central Park, finds all the clothes on the ground. Of this
Is there a reason he's chasing your random?
Just because he's running around, and then he catches her scent, and he sees this chick is like running around like he's gonna go find.
I was like, because I'm assuming if you're running around in a city, you're gonna catch lots of scents. Why this particular? Why?
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm gonna go. This chick.
It just gets.
That
to
just
him,
sounds
like
really
the
rapey
primal-
and creepy.
It could.
Okay.
But then he goes and he finds like all these clothes just laying around everywhere. So this person is now naked, and as he's like going on an investigation, all these cops show up, and they're like, just on their patrol, and they see this guy and all these clothes on the ground, and they're like, what the hell is going on? Then he plays up on the blind a lot, and then you look over in the tree and you see the first images of Elektra, and it was really her that's who he was chasing the whole time. So the next day, it's the middle of winter. She shows up wearing in a convertible Corvette, wearing a lounge dress, and Matt just kind of looks at her and leaves Foggy and jumps in it. And they're flying down the road.
What the hell?
Crazy as hell. There's no real experience. He just hopped into this.
And it's literally snowing she's in. Okay.
Lots of not even clear roads. Reaction of the hooker falling out of the window, so he's like, I'm not going to let this happen. He dives down into the water, and she's not there. So he kind of finds out who this woman is, tracks back to where she lives, because he's apparently good at that stuff, and then he breaks into her house.
I developed it in college.
She breaks into her house.
I did a little bit of that. I was really good at that.
He breaks in the house to find out who she is, which is like creepy stalker, like beyond
This
all
is
the
really
way.
getting rapey, actually.
And then,
Are you sure Daredevil's a hero? Because he
Yeah,
really
yeah.
sounds like a rapist.
and then he goes.
So this is why they took him off of Daredevil.
And then he goes and he sees, he gets found out by the dog. He kicks the dog. He kicks this dude through a freaking plate glass window into this giant ballroom that apparently she has in this massive house. Like, this put Bruce Wayne to shame. Look at that.
Oh my god.
And knocks the guard right into the piano that she was playing. She looks up to see him in the window, then continues playing the piano with this dead, crushed man on it.
There was guns. Why are
Yeah,
there
they were
guns?
obviously he kicked the man out of so the guards are shooting at him. He's like, "What the hell out of here?" So he gets out of there and I think he gets tagged in the arm. He gets back to, he's bleeding out. And as he knocks on the door, it doesn't open. Matt opens the door from the inside. Elektra just comes strolling out. And Augie walks in, and the room is destroyed. Like, this place is a disaster area. So he's like, What did you just do? And he's like, his answer is like, he walks in and says, "So, Matt, Elektra." He's like, "Yeah, she's really a very nice girl, Foggy." And then it cuts to her, still just half dressed in this coat, walking around New York, and gets these gangsters to follow her, like, oh, very, very rapey. And then she beats the hell out of these guys, just stabs and dick kicks and
That's not even
people
cool.
with
I don't
chains.
care who you are. That's not cool.
It's not, I don't care what you
And
did.
she
You don't know one
kills
deserves
these
that.
guys. Blood on the wall writes "I Heart New York," and then just goes about her business. Daredevil, awesome. Back to Daredevil. So, in short, Elektra's a crazy bitch. She kills a bunch of people. They, she's like, let's just stay here forever. Let's be the same. Let's be the same. And then she's just like, we're never gonna be the same. We can't be the same person. And she leaves. And she's just like, we can't be together. I really, she's in love with him, but she knows that crazy dark part of her personality is not part of him. So she's like, listen, I'm leaving. We can't do. I don't want to drag you into this. I'm out. And they just kind of split up. And then it cuts to original Kingpin of Crime, talking about how they're gonna do this. They're gonna bring in drugs. They're gonna do all this thing. And then he's like, calls over his assistant, and he's like, oh, I'm just having a horrible headache, and he's like, could you come take care of this? And you see these giant hands come and grab him on the shoulder, start giving him a massage, start massaging his temple, and then snaps his neck to reveal that it was Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. That is how he took power. He was like the best buddy and assistant to the old Kingpin, and then snapped his neck and killed him and replaced him.
Okay.
Matt Murdock has kind of moved on, and he's working for a law firm in Boston. He comes to New York on a case. Back to Hell's Kitchen, his old stomping ground. Gets mugged. Just beats the hell out of him. Grabbed him by his mullet and threw him down on the ground. And then he kind of goes into, he decides, while he's in the area, he's going to go back to the old gym that he used to go to with his dad, where Stick taught him how to do everything. And he finds this little girl who's, a slingshot in there. And she's in there for the same reasons he used to go in there, to get away from everything. And so he kind of takes it on to train her, just kind of, pass it on, keep her off the streets doing drugs. But then it cuts back, since the Kingpin is like, he's actually taken some drugs off the market, it cuts to these two drug addicts that are trying to do anything to get money for drugs. So they actually kidnap the little girl that he's become friends with. And they take him back, and they're just trying to extort the family for money. And taking him, and he's gonna go put a stop to this. So he just goes and he finds out like why they did it, and he goes to fight the Kingpin and all his men, because the Kingpin came up and they were just like, you two druggies aren't doing it. They cap the two druggies and take the girl for themselves, and then they're gonna take the money and then release her. Matt Murdock doesn't like this, goes and just beats the hell out of him. And that's really where he becomes Daredevil. That's really how it becomes Daredevil. And you don't see Daredevil in the red costume until the very last page, which is awesome.
How did he get his red costume?